and even the buckle isn't really clearly painted. Oops. Here's the Marvel Legends Flashback Winter Soldier from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus series. In packaging, the figure is already looking so much better than the Mandroid Wave Winter Soldier. The weapons are laid out nicely around the figure. Here's the back of the box with an almost full picture of him and also a short bio. The side of the box has the same artwork as the back, star logo at the top, and here's the bottom. Here's the figure on the in tray. Here's the cardboard on the inner side. It has the Captain America shield logo, and also, I'm not so sure what logo this is. Is it shield? I think most of us would like it when we see the in tray is really full with the figure and all the accessories all around it. Let's get the figure out. Here's the figure out of the packaging. It comes with the masked head, unmasked head, and also 4 different weapons. We've seen the knife plenty of times before. It came with other Marvel Legends figures. But for the gun, I think these are new sculpts and they all look good. At least they look kind of realistic. I really like the sculpt on the rifle. For the appearance, let's straight away compare with the first Winter Soldier figure. Let's start with the head. For the masked head, the sculpt of the mask between the second and the first version is actually different. And of course, the main difference is that the first version has the goggles on, but this new one does not. And the paintwork on the eyes is really good. The hair sculpt is also different. On the newer figure, it's definitely done better. He has the long flowy hair going down all the way to the front of the face, unlike the first version which is kind of pulled backwards a bit towards the ear. Here's the back of the head. The hair sculpt on the new one is definitely better. The hair on the older figure is also a separate piece, just like the newer figures. And of course, this new head definitely looks better than the first version, but I guess this one is not so bad. Kind of reminds me of Harry Osborn Green Goblin from the Spider-Man 3 movie. I would say the hair reaching the shoulders kind of make him look more menacing and more movie accurate, compared to the first version where the hair kind of doesn't reach the shoulders. For the unmasked head, the new head is definitely 100 times better than the first version. I mean, I really don't know what Hasbro was thinking releasing this first version of the unmasked head. Looks nothing like Sebastian Stan, and the black patch around the eyes is he Batman or something? And talking about that, although this figure does have a very good likeness to Sebastian Stan, it also kind of looks very similar to Bruce Wayne in the Batman movie. And just like the masked head, it definitely looks better to have the hair flowing down the side of the face, unlike the earlier version which has the hair kind of a bit pulled back to the ears. Again, better hair sculpt on the new head. And here's the view from the left side of the figure. Like I said earlier, the new head is 100 times better. Here are the head on the respective figures, and definitely the new one looks way better. It's a bit hard to see, but there is painted stubble on his face. Now, on to the differences on the figure itself. The obvious difference will be the different shade of brown on the newer one. The darker paintwork on the new figure is definitely more screen accurate compared to the lighter brown of the earlier figure. There's quite a few differences on the upper torso. First off is the neck. The new one has it painted the same color as the rest of the torso, but for the first version, the neck is skin color. For the harness, the new figure has the buckles painted in silver, all 3 of them at the front. But for the previous version, the buckle in the middle is not painted and the other 2 is barely painted. The harness is exactly the same, so both of them can be removed. Here's how the figure looks like without the harness. The previous version has darker brown on the shoulders, but for the new figure, it is the same color as the rest of the upper torso. The bullets on the right forearm of the previous figure is painted, but on the new figure, it isn't. I don't know why. It's kind of a downgrade in terms of the paintwork for this one. For the metallic arms, I can't believe that the previous figure actually did it better. It has a more metallic appearance and also the lines are painted black. Unlike the new figure, which kind of have a very plastic silver and the grooves of the lines are not painted, unlike the previous version. The star is also bigger and the 5 pointed ends looks kind of stretched out. This one is definitely better. It is slightly smaller and doesn't look stretched out. And the position of the star is also kind of better. The new one kind of have it painted slightly to the back. I'm not sure whether this is just my figure, but yeah, the position of the previous star is better. The gloves on the new figure is painted better though. You can see the brown over here and black on the knuckles, unlike the previous figure which just have the whole part here in black. The belt is not removable for both of them. The newer figure has it in black, the previous one has it in brown. The newer one also has the buckle painted silver and also has this silver part over here. The previous version has it in brown and even the buckle isn't really clearly painted. Oops. And the buckle isn't really painted clearly, unlike this new version which is clearly in silver. The back of the belt is not painted for both of them. And the last difference that I want to share is that for the previous figure, there is a black wash on the arms, but only at the arms. You can see the chest is kind of relatively clean and totally brown, just like the back. The black wash is really just on the arms. And the boots and the knee pads are totally clean, no black wash on them. For the new figure, there is a brown wash, kind of a lighter brown. You can see here it's kind of lighter a bit on this part as well. On the front of the torso, it doesn't really look like there is much brown wash, but at the back, you can see clearly these parts over here. Here at the back on the shoulders and here a bit. You can see the lighter brown wash. Looks a bit bronze as well. Same goes for the knee pad. You can see the brown wash and also on the boots. There at the front. Same goes for the other boot. Here's the 5 MCU Winter Soldier figures that we've gotten so far. These two, of course, is from the Captain America Winter Soldier movie. This is from Civil War, Infinity War, and this one is from the Disney Plus Falcon and the Winter Soldier. These 4 appearances are different from each other, and all 4 of them have different upper torso. The legs of the first Winter Soldier figure, however, was reused on the Civil War version. Looking across these 5 figures, I think he lost some weight over here because the torso does look kind of smaller compared to the first 2 versions. However, in terms of the head sculpt, these 2 definitely has awesome head sculpt, and the figure itself as a whole, both of them are really awesome, really good sculpt and detail on them. But first, let's take a look at the Civil War version. Like I mentioned earlier, the legs were reused on this Civil War Winter Soldier, and so are the metallic arms. However, on the Civil War version, the lines are not painted, unlike on the Winter Soldier version. The star on the Civil War version has a black outline, unlike the Winter Soldier version which does not have the black outline. The right arm of the Civil War version is a reuse. You can see the bullets on the right forearm, just like the one on the Winter Soldier, except that it is not painted as well, just like the new Winter Soldier Flashback version. But the upper torso is definitely different. The harness on this one is sculpted and not removable. Next up is the Infinity War version, and this is a really good figure even though he is kind of slightly smaller than the previous versions. Look at the sculpted texture on the torso, both front and back. And the pants are not really plain. There is some silver paintwork on the right thigh. And for the head sculpt, this new head is definitely way better than the previous one. This previous version still has the hair sculpted on the head. However, for the newer figures, the hair are all a different piece and it is glued to the head. Look at how the fringe is sculpted on the head. You can see a bit of skin color on the hair on this side. Compared to the new version, the paintwork on this one is definitely better. You can see the eyes is painted way better than the previous one. And no paint bleed on the hair since it is a different piece. Look at the difference in paintwork. And finally, here is the Disney Plus series Winter Soldier. Like the Infinity War version, the sculpted texture on the torso of this figure is really good. The sculpt on the legs are also good. You can see the creases on the knee area and the thigh areas. And he sports a shorter haircut just like in the show. You can also see the stubbles on his face. Here's a side view of the figure. You can see a slight difference in height, especially when you look at the shoulder level of these two figures. These two are slightly shorter than the other three figures. The arms are the same for these four figures, except for the Disney Plus figure where the arm is a new sculpt and has a completely different design. Kind of look nice from the front and from further away, but taking a closer look, it does look kind of messy on the inner side as well, especially at the elbow area. And for the Infinity War version, the lines are painted gold instead of black. And of course, these two doesn't have the star. Another thing about the appearance of these figures is the hair color. For his first appearance in the movie, his hair is actually brown in color, so the figures really does have brown hair. And for his appearance in the Civil War and also the Infinity War, his hair really should have been a bit longer than this. For this figure, the hair is kind of slightly brownish. You can see there are some brown wash to the hair. But for the Infinity War version, it's kind of in between brown and black, I guess. Both of these hair should have been as long as the Flashback Winter Soldier. But in the Disney Plus series, his hair looks kind of black. Probably because his hair is short, but it really looks black. There is a bit of brown wash at the back. But from the front, really look more black than brown. Just like in the show. One more thing I want to share about is that for this guy, he came with this silly looking gun. It looks kind of alien tech, and really, I don't know what Hasbro was thinking putting it in red. Looks nothing like a realistic rifle. And then, they actually reused it for the Infinity War figure. This time round, the paintwork is kind of gold to match the arms, but again, he never used this in the movie, just like the first one, and this too is really pure nonsense to me. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Hasbro was thinking coming up with this gun mold. It looks like alien technology instead of a normal gun. Thankfully, the new figure comes with normal looking guns. Share in the comments below which of these appearance of the Winter Soldier do you like the most. Here's how the figure looks like with the comic version, Winter Soldier, and these two earlier versions. For the comic version, I actually prefer these two versions, this early Hasbro era Winter Soldier figures compared to this newer one. Although the articulation of this figure is really bad, overall they really look so much better. The head sculpt and the sculpt of the figure itself really looks good. Here's Mark 85 and Stealth Captain America from the Mandroid wave. The cap figures are all shorter than this Winter Soldier figure. Now for some swapping of parts, the hands on this figure is able to be removed, unlike the previous version which cannot be removed. And you can replace it with a fist from any of the other Marvel Legends figures. I can't remember this one is from where. So that he will have a fist to punch with. And the head can be swapped with the previous figure. Although for this one, this head kind of doesn't really suit this body. Look at that. The head actually doesn't really fit the Disney Plus figure. This one sits a bit too high on the neck, and this one sits a bit too low on the neck. One thing that irks me about this and the new Winter Soldier figure is that the arms can't get any closer to the body. Really can't push the arms any closer to the body to have the arms by the side. Unlike these two figures. These two figures are fine. But even for this new figure, there's no way to bring the arms any closer. Even if I remove the harness, it will still be the same. It will still be like this. Can't get the arms any closer to the side. Articulation. Head can only look up this high because of the hair restricting the movement. Look down. Not able to tilt much. And all around. Ab crunch forward this much. And can't really crunch back at all. Arms go up this much. Bicep swivel. Double hinge elbow joint. Wrist hinge. And swivel. Waist swivel. This amount of split. Frontal split. Thigh swivel. double hinge knee joint, no calf swivel, ankle hinge, and pivot. Decent articulation, but I think most of the MCU figure does not really have the shoulder butterfly joint. One thing about both of the arms of my figure is that it's difficult to rotate. You know the feeling when you want to rotate a stuck joint? Look at the way the hand moves back as if the joint is stuck. Yeah, that's how it feels like. And I am kind of forcing the turn right now. And I really hope that it does not break. Look at that. I don't think it's going to break, but it does feel like a stuck joint. So yeah, I don't know whether this is just for my figure or this is a common problem with all the Flashback Winter Soldier figures. Overall, this Flashback Winter Soldier figure is a good upgrade over the previous one, most definitely. Both the head sculpt is really awesome and the weapons that it comes with is really great. They are all new sculpt. However, I think the metallic arm is kind of a downgrade compared to the previous version. Really kind of plastic and cheap. But I guess overall, I still do like this figure. And this is a good pickup, especially if you miss that first version from the Mandroid wave. Thanks for watching. Do check out my other reviews and my channel and subscribe if my review helps.